We're back here with awkward conversations in real estate. I'm gonna scoot you around here.
Moving, right?
Yeah.
I'm closer
Here.
than smaller than I usually should. Is
that's better. Okay, so this is Elizabeth, and we have Alec for our awkward conversations in real estate podcast. Today we brought Sean Hart in, who's a designated broker, and he's gonna share a little bit of his perspective in real estate and make it awkward. So, how long have you been in?
It's awkward. It's an awkward start.
How long have you been in real estate?
I've been in real estate 20 years, 20 plus.
What is your job title currently?
So currently I'm the designated broker. Yeah, I've been a realtor at the same company for the entire 20 years. Spent some time as a managing broker and getting involved. And then in the last couple of years, I've been named the designated broker.
Okay. And what does the designated broker do?
So by law, the designated broker is responsible for all of the actions of the agents that work at that brokerage, get involved in a lot of problem solving, and have a unique honor and privilege to serve others and to help other agents do well, to learn and to follow the laws and best practices, and just kind of overall manage other realtors who do work.
Okay. So what was one thing that surprised you when you became an agent or a designated broker that you weren't expecting?
The designated broker thing is I think the coolest thing I've seen is realizing that a lot of people do things a lot of different ways and have success with it. I mean, I only knew what I did. I had good mentors and good, leaders and good people I worked with who helped me understand and learn and do good work. But recognizing that a lot of people do things differently than what I've done or how I did things, and they're really successful at it's been really cool. It's of course there's some bad ones as well. Like they need to do it more like I did. But I think in general, it's been kind of eye-opening to see that there's a lot of different things and to recognize that there's really, as I've known, but now know more than ever, there's a lot of people that get involved and make things happen.
That's awesome. Do you have a Sean Hart Real Estate Academy at your brokerage so that they go through your way of the highway?
Learn the right way.
There is some of that, yes. Yeah. And I try to, I used to say when I was working for a different broker, don't do what I do. Or I'd say, our broker wants us to do it this way. And now when I catch myself saying that, I go, okay, here's what you're going to do. Let's be a little more direct, like I can tell people. And I try not to be overly influential and things like that. But I think there are some things I did good. Or again, with the role of trying to help other people, it's just fun to see it and do it differently and guide and direct and accept myself that somebody else can do it differently. It's okay.
You can't do that. Our broker suggests with just a big TV screen with like the Oz guy.
I've done that. It's kind of for fun. People snicker at that, so they get it. And there are times when I just say no, or okay, here's what we're going to do. I mean, it's nice to be conversational about it and encouraging about it. But certainly there are times when I go no. Yeah.
What do you consider the difference between a full-time agent and a part-time agent? So when I teach pre-license, a lot of people have that. I'm going to be a part-time agent or I'm going to be a full-time agent, and I always kind of chuckle.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you use an American standard of hours, 40 hours kind of thing. I've never been able to work 40 hours as a realtor. I mean, if I'm going to go and do something else, I'll work 20, but then get the work done later or work during the day. But I've always kind of considered it to be agents that were available when their clients needed them. If you're working two jobs or you're being a realtor as a part-time job or a side gig and you're doing something else, then you're not always going to be available when people need you. And although you can set parameters, when the market gets hot and homes are selling in hours or if not minutes, as opposed to days or months, you have to be available to do what those people need. And ultimately, the job we have is accomplishing something for someone else. And so we need to kind of do that on their terms. Again, I recognize the parameters of life. And, I remember when you started, you have little kids and, it's always a thing, or your significant other has different hours or different things. There's a lot involved in that. But I think to me, a full-time agent is somebody who's committed to their clients and committed to being available when their clients need them to do that.
All right. What's something funny that's happened to you as a designated broker?
Lots of things.
This podcast.
This podcast. Yeah. I get a lot of grief about Groundhog's Day, and now that it's coming up here, I get even more grief, but one of our employees, staff person in our company, probably once a month sends me something Groundhog Day related because it feels like there's so much of that every day. Hey Ralph, here Ralph, why can't you do it? Whatever. But a lot of funny things, like sometimes people did something and I just kind of turn around and go, what? But I've had experiences where I took on a guy in our office. He was obviously not having some mental issues, and I found myself stepping back thinking I was a cop again or something. I spent 22 years as a police officer before I was a realtor. I was ready to take this guy on, and I had no gun, I had no radio, I had no help, I had no bulletproof vest, I had no cape, I had no nothing. And I just remember thinking kind of weird to think I'm going to take this guy on because it's kind of what I reverted to. But there's so many things that happen on a regular basis. Funny stuff. I'd hate to throw people under the bus, maybe, but there was this one time where Elizabeth, I was going to tell you, no, just other things happen. Yeah,
there's probably a lot of awkward things.
things about it. I would
didn't know you had a cape.
most of them.
Was that when you were a police officer? You had a cape?
Well, it's the imaginary cape.
Oh, imaginary. Okay.
When I was a little kid, my mom put me in a costume, and I always thought that was it. Right? You have your cape. Some people had blankies or binkies. I had a cape. I'm not kidding. That's real. Too. That's awkward. That's for real. I wore a cape around, probably about a year. I wore a cape around the house, I think.
So what are the difficult conversations you have as a designated broker?
Yeah, plenty of those too. We're all human. We make mistakes, but when errors are significant or affect things, then those are difficult conversations sometimes. Not everybody takes criticism real well. Letting people go is an issue. Not everybody always does things the way you want them, or is not a good fit with the style or the brokerage or the agents involved culture. So I've let a lot of people go, unfortunately, and it's not always fun. Kind of revert back to some of that police training and confrontational stuff, but there are difficult conversations when deals fall that don't need to. Those always bug me. Like, we can fix this, because I think generally realtors think we're fixers. I think most, there are some really good realtors who are really good fixers. We just solution oriented. We find solutions to problem and go forward. I love that. And when we can't find a solution, or people aren't willing to reach a conclusion of a solution, then those are really disappointing, frustrating conversations.
What do you wish the public understood about us?
Wow, yeah, so much in the news in the last year about realtors and what they do. I wear a wristband that says it's not about me, and I think what I'd love the public to know about realtors is we work really hard to accomplish something else for someone else. We have a client that wants to buy a house or needs to move or housing, and we have a privilege to be able to help people accomplish what they need. And but I would love the public to know is that a lot of us take that really seriously. Like, I do feel privileged that you've given me an opportunity to help you accomplish a big change in your life. And I want to take that seriously, and I want to do a good job because you've chose me and you're expecting me to do a good job. So I think the public, should have high expectations of us, and they should know that, most of us are committed to really doing the right thing on their behalf. I think that sometimes I go, it's kind of pie in the sky. But if I hire someone to do something, no matter what it is, I expect them to do a good job. From my coffee to my repairing my car to re-roofing my house or selling my house. I think we all have an expectation that people that we hire who have a title or are a license to do something, are able to do that. I hope they know that they're able to do that.
What do you wish all agents did? So there's one thing that you could take your cape and wave it, and they would all have that magic power.
It's gonna hurt my feelings in the cape thing. I would probably stick with the "it's not about me" thing. I think if agents would put their clients first in all reasonableness or all reasonable situations with their efforts, we'd all be better for it. So I want agents to do well. The agents that I work with and work for and partner with are people I want to do a really good job. I want them to do well. So I wish that all agents would put their clients first and recognize that it is really an opportunity and a privilege to work for other people and get the job done.
Okay. What is a successful agent to you?
Someone who does millions and millions of dollars. It's easy to measure number of transactions or the volume of sales that you do. That's an easy, successful thing. I think as other realtors. We look at each other that way. We recognize each other that way often. And so I think that's one measure of success. But, um, there's this old saying, uh, life's not measured by the breaths you take, but by the breaths you take away. So I think the successful agents are one who are accomplishing more often than not the goals of the people they're working for. And it might be, you know, a couple deals a year, but they might be significant to those people, right? It might be really important to those people. So a lot of ways to measure success. I think agents who are involved and committed to providing for their client and get that opportunity and do it often are probably the ones that are most successful.
What is one thing you see all successful agents do? Because everybody wants the secret sauce, right?
Yeah, that's great.
Admires their designated brokers.
That's a good start.
Admiring them. Oh yeah.
Yeah, gifts.
A new cape. What color cape do you like?
When you get off the cape thing, and we find something about you. um, I think building relationships is probably the most important thing. As a realtor, your success is going to be based on the number of opportunities that you have to help other people. And those don't just drop in your lap. You can't sit around and expect your phone to ring unless you're doing something. I think the agents that are most successful and the traits they see are the ones that take the time and effort to develop the relationships, understand their role as a person that can help these people accomplish things, and does that continuously and regularly. I think you have to invest in people. We want to work with people that we know and that we like and that we trust. We may have some connection with. That's a good word these days, is being connected. So I think the most successful agents, the secret sauce might be the ones that are able to connect the best and or connect the most.
Okay. So consumers, sometimes they just pick their best friend's uncle's
Brothers, neighbors, boyfriends.
Yeah.
Ex-girlfriends.
What kind of research should they do before hiring an agent and not just
Well, I just said the connection's important. Being able to make that connection. Some agents have expertise in different types of transactions or different geographical areas. That could be a part of it. But an agent who has experience, one that doesn't have a lot of people that complain about them. I think oftentimes we're going to hear about agents from other people. And so if I trust you, Elizabeth, and you say, hey, I have this great person to wash your windows, and you should use them, I would probably do that because I have a relationship with you.
Right.
So I think people should lean on those that they know have used it. Not everybody, uses a realtor all the time. It's not a regular thing. But referrals are a big part of our business, how we work our audience to try to get them to use us. But there's online reviews and good companies or different brands or all sorts of different reasons you can choose it. Definitely would pay dividends, I think, for consumers to have a connection with an agent that they choose. You're going to spend a lot of time together over a short period of time. It's got to be somebody you can at least get along with and trust.
I know. I always wish there was a dating app for real estate agents and clients, because I'll meet people and I'm like, oh, you really would have gone better with this person because you both mountain bike or you both have a passion that you would have connected a little better than I did with them.
That's it.
So
you use the same words about connecting.
Well, if this realtor thing doesn't work out for you, you can create that app.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes, maybe. Yeah.
You'd be a part-time agent that way. More focus on.
I can be a part-time agent and let my neighbors.
So, what do you mean by part-time?
So glad I'm adding so much to this conversation at this point.
So how do you feel about the market today?
Yeah, the market today is what we know. The market tomorrow we don't know. Everything changes. We wake up in the morning and interest rates have doubled, or there's so many factors in the world that affect us, economic and political and tragedies and all that kind of stuff all affect that. The market today is good. People need to move and buy and sell. My first mortgage was an adjustable rate, started at 10.75, and I was thrilled to get it. So when people talk about 6.75 being tough, I think not really. But again, that's my own interpretation or my putting my values on somebody else. And if they need to deal with prices, then that's an issue. Or they need to deal with interest rates, that's an issue. Or they're having issues they have to deal with immediately. Timing's a big part of it. So the environment's good. We know what today is. If we can stay up on what today is and be prepared for tomorrow, we only know what today brings.
What skill do you think we need as an agent to survive in this kind of it's a little bit uncertain right now.
I would say stay and follow up on that and know where things are. Lots of people like to draw lines in the sand. That's always a big issue. I'm not paying more than this for that house. And I had a funny story where a guy, I said, the seller said he's not taking a penny less than X. And I got an offer for a penny less than X with a lot of laughter, and everybody enjoyed it. And of course, we took it and sold it. So I think you need to stay up and know what's going on. It's really difficult to give anybody advice when the question is today a good day to buy or sell if you don't really know what's going on today.
Yeah.
So I think staying up with what's happening and trying to keep a good perspective and the reality of things, that even in bad times in the Treasure Valley, 1,100 homes sell. That's low. It'd be 1,000. So every month 1,000 homes are selling in the Treasure Valley. But when it's good, what does that mean? 4,000 sells. So
Yeah.
just stay up and be informed.
That voice you did earlier reminded me of some turtle character that was on TV years ago. Who was that again?
Yeah, Tudor the turtle. Hello, Mr. Wizard. Today I want to be a highway patrolman. He wants to do it today, and then he goes home. Time for this one. Do home. Change your mind very quickly.
Okay, so last question. What is the relationship between the designated broker and the title company? So,
yeah, I don't think there's an actual contact between those two people very often. It usually is when there's a problem or a significant issue that needs to be addressed. The last several years, the trends have been around a lot of earnest money or financial reasons, disbursement of, different rules for title companies, different rules for real estate companies, who makes a decision, who has the final say. A lot of this, I think, a lot of the problems in real estate are solved by this cooperative effort and mindset. And I've had very few experiences where we couldn't resolve an issue with a title company or another brokerage or another agent because we understand that we're trying to cooperate to get something done. So I would think I haven't had a whole lot of involvement in a significant way with a title company as a designated broker. I can think of a couple incidences where we had to work together to find the right solution, but mostly I'd say over money and probably either when there's a problem or at closing because of the procedures that go along with distributing the money. Think differently?
When I hear that there's a designated broker on the phone, I want to hang it up. It's usually because there's an issue that's going on. Because most of the things
Because you made a mistake because it's always
go to the right title and that's where it is. Right?
you're like the redheaded stepchild here.
When we hang up the phone, we're blaming everybody else. So
well, we blame lenders. I think lenders blame title and title blames the agent.
it's almost like that Spider-Man thing where they're all pointing at each other, but not because they don't know who's who, just because they want to place a blame on somebody else.
Yeah.
Nobody's going like that.
Yeah.
I think the main thing about the communication with escrow and desk broker is it is almost the end of the ideas on how to solve something, and it's usually, like you said, about a money issue. And a lot of it's on a terminated contract when we're trying to decide where does the money go.
Yeah.
Or they're disputing over it. We're passing in the contingency period, and now it's canceled. Okay, well, if they're not in agreement on who gets it, they can just sit there. We prefer not to hold on to it as the escrow portion, but those are the conversations that do.
Yeah, I agree.
And it's shifted in the last 10 years from the designated broker holding their earnest money to the title companies holding their earnest money.
I think so, and it just depends on the brokerage itself. Some have an account for that, and they hold on to it. Some can't accept wires, so those have to come over to title, and that's going to be deposited there. But we do hold on to quite a few deposits of this money.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you for coming today.
My pleasure.
It was great. Even better twice.
Yeah, appreciate that.
Oh, yeah. The lady's awkward, and I do awkward things a
And you
lot.
just said it.
I feel like I'm chasing Sean around the table.
That's okay. Most people chase.
Because I'm always in the edge.
Quit moving this direction.
Which one of us? Yeah. Are you like get a little closer to Alex?
It's all right.
We'll cut that part out.
No, we won't.
And leave it all.
You know what I mean.
I'm so curious.